This just happened, and almost everyone is arguing about it. A new global survey says that more people around the world now believe China has more influence than the United States. In 2026, not someday, now. Some call it a wake-up call. Others call it flawed, biased, or flat-out wrong. But one thing is clear. The conversation about global power has shifted. Let's break this down, quickly, clearly, and without the hype. This is America in minutes. First, zoom out. For most of the last 80 years, the United States has been the dominant global power. Military alliances, global trade rules, the dollar, Hollywood, the internet, even pop music. This is what people mean by global influence, not just weapons, but the ability to shape how the world thinks, trades, votes, and aligns. China, meanwhile, spent decades growing quietly. Massive manufacturing, state-driven infrastructure, long-term planning, and very patient diplomacy. Instead of military bases everywhere, China built ports, railways, and loans, especially across Asia, Africa, and Latin America. Two different strategies, same goal, influence. Now to the survey. Researchers asked people across dozens of countries a simple question. Which country has the greatest influence on global affairs today? Not which do you like, not which is morally better, just influence. And for the first time in many global polls, China ranked above the United States. Not everywhere, not unanimously, but enough to matter, especially outside North America and Western Europe, in regions like Southeast Asia, the Middle East, Africa, parts of Latin America. China either matched or surpassed U.S. influence. That's the headline. That's the shock. Now let's talk about why people disagree on what it means. Supporters say this is real. Their argument goes like this. China is visible. China is investing. China shows up. If you're a developing country and China builds your roads, funds your power plants, and buys your exports, that feels like influence. Meanwhile, the U.S. often shows up with sanctions, conditions, lectures about governance. Whether those are fair or not, perception matters. Supporters also point to consistency. China's foreign policy doesn't change every election cycle. The U.S. can swing dramatically every 4 years. To many governments, stability equals power. Critics strongly disagree. They argue the survey confuses visibility with real power. Yes, China builds infrastructure, but the U.S. still dominates military alliances, financial systems, technology ecosystems, global institutions. The U.S. dollar still underpins global trade. U.S. security guarantees still shape entire regions. Critics also question the methodology. Who was surveyed, urban or rural, general public or elites? How was influence defined? Their conclusion? China may look powerful, but the U.S. still is powerful, just less popular. Now, things get interesting. In Beijing, state media highlights the survey as proof of a multipolar world, meaning no single country dominates anymore. In Washington, reactions split. Some politicians say, this proves we need stronger diplomacy, trade, and alliances. Others say, this is exactly why we should stop paying for global leadership. Same data, opposite conclusions. That's politics. Media framing matters here. Some outlets run with, U.S. decline is accelerating. Others say, China won the PR war. And some go full chaos. The American century is over. Spoiler, history doesn't end that fast. But dramatic headlines travel better than nuanced ones. Public reaction varies by region. In the U.S., many people are skeptical or indifferent. Domestic issues feel more urgent than abstract global rankings. Outside the U.S., reactions are more pragmatic. People ask, who is actually improving our lives? Who is reliable? Who is present? That's not ideology. That's lived experience. Short-term, this affects diplomacy. Countries hedge their bets. They avoid choosing sides. They negotiate harder. Influence shapes who gets access, trust, and leverage. Long-term, this could reshape trade routes, technology standards, global institutions. Not because the U.S. disappears, but because it's no longer assumed to lead by default. Influence becomes competitive again. That changes behavior. So what does this survey really tell us? Not that China has won, not that America has lost, but that global power is no longer automatic. Influence has to be earned, maintained, explained. And the world is watching closely. Not asking who shouts the loudest, but who shows up. This is America in Minutes. See you next time.